on this computer. Okay. So basically, I'm going to go over the 2019 version. And as you know, this test is not about, it's not about material as much as it is about technique. So if you want to go ahead and take notes, I want to see if this thing, does it let us take notes?
Miss Kifah, just send us the video that you recorded after we finish the Zoom.
Okay.
Better than taking notes while answering.
So let's walk through the test. The test is always the same format. So part A is going to say identify author's argument, main idea, or thesis. Now, for some of y'all that answered on this one, okay, you answered that he wants to lower the voting age, which is correct, but it's half correct. You have to say why. Okay, this right here, the title, yeah, that is the argument, but you didn't complete the argument. He wants to lower the age so that people can get more ice cream. He wants to lower the age so that the reason why he wanted to do it was to increase voter turnout. And then he came up with different arguments. Now, there's something that I wanted you guys to know. There's two types of logic. Let's go to, crap, how do I go to whiteboard?
To be honest, it was really like stupid, the thing. You know, why would you want to lower it 1 year?
Well,
Like 17 instead of 18. Like, what's the difference?
that kids are still in
Wait, Miss Kifah.
Yeah.
Miss Kifah, me and Diana took it a day before. Was the articles different?
Yeah, the articles are different.
Why is this one easier?
Well, I'll go back to that one. Look at both of them. So there's empirical, and it doesn't matter what kind of doesn't matter what tests you're looking at. When you're looking at the first section and you're doing the line of reasoning, you have two types of logic that you need to look for, and this exists anywhere. There's empirical logic and there's like logical frames. Okay, these are big words, I know. Now, empirical logic, can somebody look this up for me and see, what did I just do? Look this up for me, please, and tell me what it is. Anyone? I need for y'all to join in with me so that you understand. Empirical, can you guys see my screen? I'm
Yeah.
on the whiteboard. Empirical logic, what is it?
Wait, empirical logic. It's okay, that's not a term.
Based on observation or experience.
No, if we come in, there's two, I gave you guys this morning, Stanishwai. I gave you a
It's logic that's based on experience.
Empirical reasoning. Hold on. Let me share the thing I gave you this morning. Do not look at my WhatsApp messages. So Ms. Kifa shared something this morning. Why? Where did it go? Yeah, come on. Oh, hang on. So we have something called empirical reasoning and logical reasoning. You see, there's things that you back up with numbers, okay? And nobody argues with numbers or statistics. And then there are things that you back up with logic, like you talk through it, all right? So like right here is how can you use logical and empirical reasoning to develop economic hypotheses? Yeah, I got this from Lincoln, but they had pretty good reasoning, okay? So basically with logical reasoning, you talk through it. This is what they call the Socratic method, okay? And this is basically built on a case-by-case basis. With empirical reasoning, okay? Empirical. Okay, is a process of thinking critically about organizing, analyzing, visualizing qualitative, quantitative, and or geospatial data. You're getting data, You're getting numbers, okay? Empirical is basically anything that they use to do in regards to numbers. Okay,
Wait, so empirical logic is anything that they use with numbers?
it's not pure.
Not experience?
Yeah, it's not pure. Okay, I like to look on Quora and Reddit. Sometimes they have good answers. They do help, by the way, especially with AP. When you're looking up AP stuff, Reddit has a lot of stuff. So basically reasoning, whenever you're building a logical frame, you can build a logical frame around anything. Okay, if I give you any 3 articles, if we get enough points out of it, we can build a logical frame. All right. So with empirical reasoning, it's more or less, and the reason why I'm using this, and I don't want to go too deep into it, because always with reasoning and philosophy, بتوسع كتير. But basically, I want to say it's more or less the technical data. All right. Now, with logical reasoning, it's where you discuss things. Why did I say this? So we go back here, and with his argument, not all of it is based on data. Some of it is just based on him talking it out and reasoning it out. Okay, and this is why we call it line of reasoning. Why did it do that? Okay.
No,
So
the presentation cut off.
you should have it. Can y'all see it?
Yeah.
My screen for some reason is cutting out. So with line of reasoning, you're gonna, like, as soon as you see that word, you're gonna start looking for empirical and logical. So why the voting age should be 17. And I gave you guys a worksheet because we'll go back over that after this. So it's time, he wants to lower it nationwide, okay? And the reason is it will, evidence suggests it will boost informed participation in our democracy over time. So basically, his thesis is split up into 2 parts, this one and this one. Okay, he doesn't just want to make the age higher. He also he says that he has evidence that because we have some of the lowest engagement of any democracy. So, they passed the 26th Amendment. Okay, this is quote unquote proof for him. And this is more or less situational and or logical proof. Okay. And now look, we made the we brought the voting age down. Okay. And it was one of the why? Because the nation grasped that it was unacceptable to draft people and not allow them to vote. Now, if a government affects you, you get to vote. That is a fundamental principle of democracy. Of course, small children are too young to vote wisely, independently, but how could 18-year-olds be too immature to vote if they were mature enough to wear the uniform? Okay, this is logical argument. It's not empirical. Okay, enough people will agree on this. Some people will not. Go ahead, Anya.
Miss, what did you say is the difference?
Empirical, I mean, this is, and I want you guys to use this as a filter in your head. When you're looking for different types of evidence, there's empirical, it's more or less more data and stats and hardcore facts. Logical reasoning is where you talk it out, like what he's doing here. This is logical reasoning. Okay, we're sending people to go to a war, so therefore they should be able to vote. That's logical reasoning. So therefore, henceforth, okay, that's the type of reasoning that you have. Now,
Miss,
yeah, go ahead.
okay, I already know like how, but I just want to be like 1000% sure. For the first question, it says like identify the thesis or statement. How can we be 1000% sure that we like the thesis statement?
How can we be sure? Go to the conclusion. Your conclusion is your hack. Go to
Always in the conclusion.
let's do it on this one. Does it work? Finally, encouraging older adolescents to vote on local issues recognizes they are deeply affected by public policy and especially by schools. blah, blah, blah. We need their voice to make those policies and institutions better. Yep, sort of. Here's another one, the paragraph before. Lowering the voting age in municipality elections won't push us to the top, a step in the right direction, and because there's the lowest turnout rate. So basically, these are his reasoning right here. So
Like for the thesis statement, when it says identify the thesis statement.
yeah. So what I would do, I would go here. بشوف إذا في matching مع تحت. فهمتي كيف؟
Oh, okay, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Always
Miss, يعني they repeat the thesis statement in the conclusion.
yeah. That's basically because sometimes some of these articles can be confusing. Let's look at the 2008 one. That's not it. And this is how I grade you guys. Okay, this is how I give you points. So let me have-
Is that the official AP rubric?
more or less, yeah. They have it online too.
Okay.
I'm trying to make y'all a report so you can read it and understand it. So let's look at the 2000. This is the kids who went the day before. Neuroscience of your brain on fiction. So let's do our hacks. Amid the squawks and pings of our digital devices, the old-fashioned virtues of reading novels can seem faded, even futile. But new support for the value of fiction is arriving from an unexpected order. Neuroscience. Hack, 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 hack. These findings will affirm the experience of readers who have felt illuminated and instructed by a novel, have found themselves comparing a plucky young woman to Elizabeth Bennet or Blobbity Blue. It has long been averred, enlarges, improves us as human. Brain science shows this claim is truer than we imagined. Okay. So basically they're supporting the fact about the neuroscience behind reading fiction. Way up, it is a particularly useful stimulation. Here it goes. Because negotiating the social world effectively is extremely requiring us to waive myriad interacting. All right, just as computer simulations can help us get to grips with complex problems such as Blobbity Blue to help us understand the complexities. So, okay, that's another summary to the thing. So basically, if we're going to say what is a thesis and or the argument that reading fiction creates new neural pathways and is better for socialization. All right. Now, in this article, all right, can you look for empirical reasoning?
Ms. Kifah, can you repeat what empirical reasoning means?
Empirical reasoning is where you use numbers to prove your point. You use numbers, statistics, data. Yani, the bake sale was a success because 100% of the students bought from it. But
Is it the last paragraph in 2006 study published a journal, whatever thing?
no. Okay,
Is that the empirical?
that's empirical.
Okay.
Okay. This whole article, you could more or less say it was empirical reasoning.
But there's no like
Well, they have an actual study.
numbers other than the two in 2006.
Yeah, but we have, this is observation. This is methodical. يعني قعدوا وسجلوا when they did a study. Okay, this is different than,
So empirical means that it's a study or a statistic, يعني.
it was methodical, it was planned, it was مسجل. This is different than this guy. This guy's discussing it, more or less.
So what is this? Because this gives evidence of a study, but the other one gives numbers. So what's the difference?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
understand. I'm kind of confused right now.
Okay, this one's about the voting. يعني مثلا هون. This is a discussion. Hey, عمالة بعمل في discussion. ما في أرقام. He didn't give us anything. He told us, yeah, it went from 21 to 18.
أيوة, in 1971, at the peak of youth protests in Baby Boone, whatever, passed the 26th Amendment, that's empirical.
This is discussion. He's building a logical frame. He didn't say what happened. He didn't say like 20% or 30 million or, you know, there was no real study. He just told what happened. This is
Okay, in neither articles there's empirical.
an ايش؟
In both articles ما في empirical.
لا, totally different. Wait a second. This one is talking about facts. This is more or less, this is a logical frame. This is like if I take a fact, okay?
Miss Kifah,
Go
in
ahead.
the last paragraph, if people miss the first election, هي 5.2%, it's giving us,
That's good. That's empirical.
right? That's empirical, yeah.
That's very exact. Where did I do 2018? Crap. Did this one? Oh,
Is the test going to ask you to identify different, like the logical and empirical evidence?
no, I want you to differentiate between that because there's going to be evidence stronger than other evidence. You have to be
طب in this one,
Mm,
if there isn't empirical لازم يكون في شيء تاني.
logical. And then he's arguing a point. Okay?
طب how can
لأن مثلا he's saying we should basically, we should lower the voting age in this one.
I think I understand. Can you try to explain it to Anisad?
Okay. You want to? Go ahead.
Yeah. Tell me if I'm wrong though. Okay, I think an empirical is like it's giving us not only numbers but it's giving us also like percentage and so on. يعني شوفي like in 2014's election just 5.2% of eligible whatever voters they are starting. It's giving us percent and it's giving us evidence with numbers. But at the top, it's just telling us like, you know, in 1971, these people did whatever. So it's not really giving us like the percent of people or like what they did or what the outcome was. He's just like talking, he's yapping.
Yeah.
Difference, I think.
I like that what you just said now, the outcome. Okay, so what? They changed from 18.
Thank you, Anya. I understood.
What was the outcome?
Well,
He didn't prove that more people went to vote. He just said that it was that because of where, okay, was Shiani. All right, I get this argument. I get it. We changed it. It means we can do it again. Great job. But what was the outcome? I have no idea. So this is quote unquote a logical frame. All right. Now, this Penn State guy, he actually did a study, the 5.2%. You're right. It's habitual. We have another political scientist, found the pattern. This is a study, empirical. So the only thing that I'm saying is what I want y'all to differentiate between is the types of evidence, okay? You don't necessarily have to use these words, but just so you be careful what types of evidence that you are given. Say he is like, for example, so when you're saying this, he discusses at the beginning of his argument, he discusses the fact that the laws were changed from 18 to 21, okay? And that it was the result of a public debate over going to war. So
Ms. Kifah, we have to mention, when we're answering, you have to mention what type it is.
لا أنا بدي إياها إلكم لأن this way بتقدروا توزنوا أنو الأحسن و they're gonna, you know, if it's good evidence or bad evidence. You see, I would even like, I mean, some of these, you see, I'm older and I've gone through more stuff than you guys. I would even like, if I was you, I'd be going through it. Is there a better way to do this? That's how you would look over it. Okay, that's how you look over these arguments. Is there a better way to do this, or did this guy really do a good job? Okay. So that's the thing I would look at. Like this one, I think it's better, the brain thing. Because I would have never thought, I mean, they made a legitimate claim with the fiction because it actually came from studies. There were studies done, okay, and with the MRIs, and this is what they found out. So this is actual proven methodical. يعني قعدوا راقبوا سجلوا, you know, like what do we call it, the scientific method type of crap, right?
So this is basically
Ms.
more
Kifah?
reliable than the
Yeah.
other one.
Wait, again, say it again.
This is more reliable than the other one, right?
And then you have like actual journals, and this one's like better charted type of thing. We have 86 MRI studies. Okay, so this is a lot more empirical. Go ahead, Abdullah.
Does the fact that it was by the New York Times affect anything? Since it's not that reliable.
Yeah, by the way, we have to do the tiers. Y'all need to go back through the tiers. I would even rate this. I mean, what tier is this?
Isn't it a tier 3? I wrote like in the thing it was a tier 3.
Information tiers, tiers of sources, is this it? Let me put this on the chat again. Because I would even say that, like, for me to be totally, yep, there it is. This is in the book. So I'm gonna put this on the chat.
Is this on Google Classroom?
No, but حطها هلا على WhatsApp, that way you guys can find it right there. Because, okay, so basically we would go through these. I would say it's a tier 1, it's a tier 2, it's a tier 3, tier 4. You don't necessarily have to put it-
Wait, so Miss,
Yeah,
I told you like it's a tier 3. Do I get extra points for that, like on the official test?
I think you would. I would. If I was a reader, I would. By the way, I got elected to be a reader, just so y'all know.
What does that mean? What do you mean reading?
It means I grade the AP tests.
No way, مبروك.
Just there might be some glitches if I don't go this year. I went before. If I don't go this year, I'll go like again. But I got elected again. That means
Good job.
I'm halfway smart. Okay. So moving on. I would have this memorized in my head and I'd be looking like, yeah, I mean, look, what do you take away from this? All right. شو بنستفيد عن جد? Tier 1 or tier 2 كلها الهبل. This is training your brain how to differentiate the different types of شو اسمه, of information. So you have this guy, he basically has his own thing. Hold on. Can you guys give me 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you see this right here? So we have Peter Levine. I mean, let's even look up this guy. What did he do? Is this even real? So you have him, he's writing from a university. So that's a tier 1. And he's like sitting there citing evidence. And do you understand the difference? Like, there he goes. Is he real? Hiya, he's the vice provost for research.
But how can we do this in the test? Because like if we see a random name, we can't just pull out like our phone or whatever and search up.
I wish they did do that. If they did, it'd be more accurate. But you see what I'm saying? Like, where's dude? Oh, hi. Okay, so Peter Levine, Tufts University. خلاص بعرف من حد ما أشوف هذا. This is a university study. This is a tier 1. It's not like a tier 3 from a New York Times. New York Times is going to go more emotional. I mean, do you see a lot of descriptions here? You're seeing all numbers and data and fact-based stuff. They're not saying anything.
Miss Kifaf,
Go ahead.
Miss. So what if like a not reliable website is sourcing reliable websites? Like for example, the one that we just read.
What do you mean? Like this one, the 2019 one?
The 2018. Like it's by New York Times, but it's like quoting actual research.
This one, yeah. They're mixing it. That's normal. And by the way, I'm just telling you, like, this is normal in pieces like the New York Times and stuff like that, because what's happening is they're building a bias. So they mix in things. That's why they're tier 3. That's why you have the tier 1 and you have the tier 1 is not going to have a bias. It's just going to tell you how things are. Like this one right here, the neuroscience of your brain on fiction. They had people reading fiction and this is what happened. Okay. Whereas the New York Times,
But like it states that in 2006, like whatever happened, does that affect the difference on the tiers?
no. Because this is an actual study. It's a journal right there. They got this out of a journal. This is like a industry journal. That's in the specialty of neuroscience. They didn't get the journal of gynecology. They used neuroscience to back up their thing. Now, if they had gotten it from the journal of gynecology about women's studies, it would make no damn sense, right? And sometimes you'll see that they'll try to confuse you. This also makes you a better reader. So like I was saying, why do we do this? So when you're reading things, see here, it's a mix of emotional, and then you have some data mixed in. He's like, dude, we did this before. We can do this again. Okay, we did it in 71. All right. 4, the 26 all made excellent sense because of the war, blah, blah, blah. He uses two guys with clout. They're political scientists. You see, when
But
he...
Miss Kifah,
Mhm. Go ahead.
sorry, but can I argue here that like he has reliable sources, but one of his main sources were New York Times, so it's not like 100% reliable.
No,
Can that be an argument?
no. This is written for the New York, not this guy.
Oh, okay.
This guy wrote for the New York Times. That's why it's not so it's going to be tier 3. So you would say this is an article written for the New York Times. It's going to be about a tier 3. So it's not going to be,
Miss Kifah?
Yeah.
I don't understand how it's like it's not really reliable because it's New York Times, but in the article itself, there's studies shown and like evidence and like good evidence shown.
here he's using two types of, using evidence and emotional with this guy's.
I think because New York Times can be biased.
He's building a bias. Okay. Because I mean, honestly, like there's one thing here. Like I have no idea why he brought this up. Lowering the voting age. This is a claim. Probably won't help Democrats, but it will help democracy. Why? In 3 important ways. Okay, first, a strategy for connecting civil learning. Okay, good. So civil learning, go vote. Students can be taught about the process before they vote. Okay, cool. And learning will do that. Okay, not bad. But again, this is logical, this discussion. There's no numbers here. He built this up. This is all theoretical. He didn't say like, there's a school in Georgia where there was an area in Georgia, they lowered the voting age and this happened, for example. Okay.
He did, I think.
Yeah, he did that, but not here. This is,
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's just building logic. It makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. There was something, Sundershway. And he's also assuming, what about the argument? Okay, so this is against, he makes another claim that they don't know. What's it called? Adolescents or teenagers don't know enough. Found that 16-year-olds' political knowledge was about the same as that of 21-year-olds, okay? So that is an actual study. And current issues before, we can teach those topics in schools and states will require this. But again, we don't know. This is again, assumption. All right. Some might claim, this one, over the past 30 years, young voters opted for Republican candidates, and they might again in the future. Political scientists recently examined the impact of a different form, allowing high school students to pre-register when they turn 17, so they are automatically registered on their 18th birthdays. Okay. Youth turnout rose as a result, but the proportion of young voters who actually voted Democratic fell. Okay, that's accepted. So kids aren't gonna more or less vote for one party or the other. And this is nos, so it's nosada. It's not like the other study. I know, look, I know it can be confusing. Well, I know. But you have to learn how to sit down because this, you take this later. When you go, you're actually using it every day in your life. How do you guys know how to filter the news that you're watching now? Like your guys are going through TikTok and you're going through different things. You guys know how to filter lies from the real stories. You're doing that anyways. Okay, this goes up a level because you're getting even more professional at it. Let me put it that way. So to recap, this dude, Levine, he used a combination, you know, like emotional arguments or just logical, talking things through. And he uses actual people who studied the issues. So there's two types. And then if we go down and check, because it is New York Times, this is normal for New York Times. Sorry, I'm looking at the one. Sorry. Okay. Which one is this? No, this one was used for the New York Times. Okay. So, but this one, this was an actual Schussman. These are actual studies. All right. What did I do? Oh, right. Yeah. So this guy, he's an actual guy, but he still used two different types of arguments. Okay. Emotional and empirical. These dudes, they used all neuroscience, even though it was presented in a tier 3. Okay. Even though it was reprinted in a tier 3 article, it is still unemotional. They use actual evidence. Does that make sense?
So they use more empirical than logical, or the opposite?
No, they use more, it's all empirical. They have no,
Okay.
there's no opinion. This guy's all opinion. Sorry if I get a little bit confused. I wish I could put them like on two separate screens.
No, it's okay. But
This is
is empirical more reliable or like more professional than logical?
yeah, whenever you're presenting evidence. So this is where we get to the second part. We have 2 minutes left and I'll send another link. So when you're getting here, you're gonna have to differentiate. Now look, when they give you these part Bs, they have 4 different kinds of things. They're gonna have one that's a poem that's purely emotional. They're gonna have 2 like editorial pieces and one that's scientific. Okay. And
Okay.
so like this first one, all right, this is about the beauty of the earth and things go back to the earth and you know you see that thing after a thing is dead, it dries up. It might take weeks or years, but eventually if you touch the thing, it crumbles
I
under.
wrote about, was this in the mock test?
Yeah. Okay.
I explained it as like, people are like mistreating the earth, but like eventually we all come from the earth and we're gonna go back into the earth. So like, why do we treat it in a bad way?
Good. Good.
Is that good?
But I would have liked for you to expand on it, and I wrote that. Now, okay, before I move on, I'm going to send another link for this one. Did you guys understand the first part? Before I move on. Did you guys understand this? The voting age and the neuroscience thing. Did you guys understand that? I know it got a little bit confusing, but did you guys understand it? Do you understand the point I'm trying to make?
I understand, but I'm just a little bit confused between like the emotional and the whatever, the other thing. I forgot it, what it's called.
Let's look over the worksheet I got you guys. I'm going to send another link just so we don't get cut off. And I'll go over the worksheet that I got y'all. Okay.
Okay.
Yalla, bye. I'll share a link now. Listen, hey, guys, I'm confident enough as a teacher that like, you're like, Miss, I don't understand. I don't get mad. Okay, so tell me. Because even I got a little bit confused. I had to.